Panchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo namo.
Actually, this chair, Arun.
Okay.
Arun.
Thank you. Yes.
I think this chair was for you, if you want that.
That's for the senior.
Well, I know.
Those
Well,
are
you're kind of.
sannyasis.
You didn't get a cover on it. It's just raw.
You're gonna make hard on our cameraman, though.
I'm gonna sit
probably
there.
gonna need to-
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Come sit this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he
All
can
right.
record you properly, Prabhu.
You're good. Feel okay, good.
Still?
Yes.
It's a miracle.
Govinda.
I didn't want to scream, Prabhu.
Dandavats, devotees of the Lord. How are you doing? I heard you are in the best place in the whole world. Is that true?
Yes.
Where are you guys now?
Gurudeva Samadhi Mandir.
Gurudeva Samadhi Mandir in the beautiful Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Sevashram in SoCal, California. So, we are welcoming all of you for our first step of 3 steps inauguration program. So we are starting our auspicious invocation for the whole Govinda Mela 2025 at the Lotus Pushpa Samadhi de Srila Govinda Maharaj. You're gonna hear beautiful stories about how this place came to be, why it was chosen to be here, how every single brick was laid here, and but above all, how this place, it is a manifestation of Srila Gurudeva's desire and the temple that lives in every single devotee's heart that is here today and that is watching us today. So thank you that is watching us live, and thank you Murali Prabhu for making this transcendental connection for us. So our plan today, it is Srila Janardana Maharaj manifested when I asked him, maybe we should have a series of talks about Srila Govinda Maharaj pastimes this year, more focus on his glories and his stories. And he said, that's not necessary. It's necessary for the devotees to speak about him. And he said, I want everybody to be able to speak about Gurudev. So that's why our first step in Govinda Mela is to make that happen. That Gurudeva so Gurudeva say to all of us, I'm always with you. So now is the time for us to tell how we are always with him. So we're going to start with a light kirtan while we wait for Srila Janardana Maharaj, Srila Nyasi Maharaj and Srila Madhav Maharaj and other guests that are coming. And then we're going to do a drops of nectar. So it's a quick speed praising. Everybody gets around 5 minutes to share something really sweet and nectarian about Srila Gurudev. So let's start. Please welcome Arun Prabhu leading us in a gentle kirtan. And then I hope you can bring this nectar that is in your heart because I'm really, really thirsty. Dandavats, devotees.
To the mute switch.
Bhajo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Bhajo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Bhakta-vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Bhakta Nivedana first. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Guru Bhishta Sapurukam Guru Ganera Shisha Sambhushitam Chanta Chanta Samasta Vedanapunam Shri Rupa Panthanagam Govinda Vidam Ujjvalam Vartanam Bhakteranvitam Sundaram Vande Vishwaguruncha Divya Bhagavad Premanohi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavadanam Balarkuche Lanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadaikavarnam Vairagya Vidyambudhim Shri Siddhantanidhim Subhaktilasitam Saraswatanam Varam Vandaitam Shubhadam Adekasharnam Nyashishwaram Sridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Garvanvaye Bhato Bhanur Prabhat Kagane Yogaur Sankitane Maya Vadatmingalo Dhargatan Uddharyate Jivaniman Krishna Prem Sudabdi Gahan Sukham Pradat Prabhantam Bhaje Namo Gaur Kishorai Bhaktavadhut Murte Gaurangi Padma Bhringaya Radha Bhavanishevine Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaur Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastrag Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudhanadim Gaur Vajashata Shera Vaishnaver Vande Vigraham Jagannath Prabham Bande Premabdham Vriddha Vaishnavam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratushe Namaha. We'll sing page 74. Shri Guru Charana Padma Keval Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Keval Bhakati Sadma Ando Moi Savadhan Aate Bando Moi Savadhan Aate Jahar Prasade Bhai E Bhav Turiya Jai Jahar Prasade Bhai प्राप्ति होए जहाँ होइते कृष्णा प्राप्ति होए जहाँ होइते गुरु मुख पद्मा वाक्या चिते ते कुरिया है क्या गुरु मुख परमावाक्य चिते से कोरिया क्या हरो ना कोरिया मने आशा हरो ना कोरिया मने श्री गुरु चरण रति से उत्तम गति श्री गुरु चरण रति से उत्तम गति ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकोशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकोशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ हुईते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ हुईते वेदे गाय जहर चरितो वेदे गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पद छाया प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पद छाया हे बेजाल सुश्री भुवाना हे बेजाल सुश्री भुवाना हे अधम लोय लो शरणा हे अधम लोय लो शरणा तुया पद लोय नु शरणा तुया पद लोय नु शरणा शरणीलाम अभय श्रीपाद पद्मे शरणीलाम अभय श्रीपाद पद्मे शरणीलाम दोया करो हे पतित पावन श्री गुरुदेव दोया करो हे पतित पावन श्री गुरुदेव आधम पतित जने दोया करो हे आधम पतित जने दोया करो हे गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव
Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Gurudev.
Sripad Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Maharaj ki.
Oh, Murali Mohan. I didn't see you until now.
Anurag Maharaj, how you doing?
Pretty good.
More?
I think we can. What do you say? We start? Is Maharaj coming?
Yeah, they're, moving a little slow, but coming. She's driving back down to get them. I think they're going to be up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, one more song then.
Sure, yeah.
I just want to be time aware.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess when Maharaj comes, then we can sing Gurudev's Aarti at that time, right?
We don't have to pray to do our arati per se.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's mainly for sharing.
It's more talk.
More sharing, yeah. Okay. We'll sing Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Doya Koro More. Yeah. Page 76. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Tama Bina Ke Doyalu Jagat Madhare Tama Bina Ke Doyalu Jagat Madhare पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतारा पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतारा ओ साम पतित प्रभु न पाइबे आरा मो साम पतित प्रभु न पाइबे आरा आहा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी आहा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपाबलोकन करो आमी बड़ो दुखी कृपाबलोकन करो आमी बड़ो दुखी दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई दया करो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तव कृपा बोले पाय चैतन्य निताय तव कृपा बोले पाय चैतन्य निताय गौर प्रेम मोया तनु पंडित गदाधर गौर प्रेम मोया तनु पंडित गदाधर श्रीनिवास हरिदास दोयार सागर श्रीनिवास हरिदास दोयार सागर आहा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ आहा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्ट जुग श्री जीवाहा प्रभु लोकनाथ भट्ट जुग श्री जीवाहा दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास दया करो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संग मांगे नरोत्तम दास रामचंद्र संग मांगे karo Prabhupada Shri Gaur Prakasha Daya karo Prabhupada Shri Gaur Prakasha Tava Jana Kripa Mange He Adham Das Tava Jana Kripa Mange He Adham Jaya Gaura Hari 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 Jaya Gaura Hari
Oh, Premanandi.
Hari Hari Bol.
So sweet. In name of the time, because we have a lot of events following this, I think we could start having our praising. Maybe Prabhu, Shripad Nyasi Maharaj could share 5 minutes of
Okay.
drops of nectars about Gurudev, and then we're gonna have everybody here doing the same.
Cool.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you,
Dhanyavad.
Krishna Prabhu.
This on? Yeah. Okay. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. I was just thinking, when I first met Srila Govinda Maharaj, it was, I don't remember exactly when, maybe early 80s, something like that. And it was at the house in Calcutta. I think they had just shortly before gotten it. But anyway, when we arrived, he came out to greet us. And, you know, the first thing I thought was, like, he was so, like, personal and so accommodating and so friendly. I thought, could this be really Govinda Maharaj? And, of course, it was. And, you know, that was just the beginning of coming to know, like, at least a little bit about the nature of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That his persona was so humble and simple, and yet at the same time, like, the most dedicated person I've ever met in my life, I think. Just because, you know, you could see that his whole consciousness, his whole meditation, his whole thinking had to do with service to his Guru Maharaj. That was Srila Govinda Maharaj. That's it. I mean, you know, that kind of like full absorbed devotion, you know, I don't know if we'll ever see it anywhere again, but it was there in Srila Govinda Maharaj to such an extent that just by seeing that, we can kind of realize, like, wow, what devotional life is. This is like, even if it's only 1%, it's still, this is our prospect to be able to live a life like that is so dedicated, so fully absorbed, and yet, you know, like simultaneously so happy and joyful and so like friendly. You know, Srila Govinda Maharaj was undoubtedly, even though I was initiated, of course, by Srila Prabhupada, heard Gayatri Mantra again from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, still, Srila Govinda Maharaj was the, you know, the divine personality who affected my life more than anyone. Just because, you know, he was so personal. Like in the time of Srila Prabhupada, he would always, you know, take separately and always be kind of at some distance. And also Srila Sridhar Maharaj was like that, kind of in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But Srila Govinda Maharaj, there he was, like coming up and sitting down and taking prasadam right there with us. And, you know, talking about how nice each particular dish of prasadam was, And, just like, what kind of personality is this? Just to think about it now is just like almost shocking that, that kind of pure, devotional, surrendered personality was manifest in such a way that, was so open and so personal and so available to show us, his own personality and his own nature. And of course, specifically in relation to devotional service and his service to his Gurudev. And, after Srila Sridhar Maharaj departed, Srila Govinda Maharaj was given the charge of, running the Math and taking over the preaching of Srila Guru Maharaj. And as far as I remember, at first he was a little kind of distant and humble. And, eventually by the prompting of different devotees who were close to him, he began to come out, and finally he came to London at that time. And also I think he came here, right? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, he came out, and in coming out, Srila Govinda Maharaj was like, I don't know how it works or how he did it, but, coming out, he was like in the mood of service to his Gurudev, that he just powerfully manifested his own personality and his own, devotional nature in a very powerful yet very sharing and, and loving way. So, I have so much feeling of indebtedness, and from whatever degree I can have it, some love for Srila Govinda Maharaj, that, he brought to me a kind of a deeper understanding of what Krishna consciousness really is in terms of dedicated devotional life. And, of course, he stayed in Navadvip, and we got to visit with him in Navadvip and visited with him in London, and he was always available. That was his service to his Guru Maharaj. So that was his full function, and his full absorption was in that making himself available. He always knew that, he was Srila Guru Maharaj's servant, and that was his, that was his impetus, that was his very life. And so, because of Srila Govinda Maharaj, we got a deeper and deeper feeling and understanding of what what real devotional life is. He brought it more and more to life. Of course, this is not you can't make a gradation, Prabhupada or Srila Guru Maharaj or Srila Govinda Maharaj, but for me personally, the impact was was powerful, perhaps more powerful. Even though, first meeting Srila Prabhupada was life-changing, and when we heard Prabhupada told us to go see Srila Sridhar Maharaj, to see him was such a relief, because we were all so vacant after Prabhupada departed. We just were wandering helplessly, not knowing what to do. And then we heard, Srila Prabhupada told us that we could go to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And when we went to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj was there, always ready, willing to help us and to be with us. So to remember Srila Govinda Maharaj, to think about him, to for everybody to hear about him and meditate on him, it will be such a wonderful benefit to all of us collectively. Because, of course, how that works is when we all are focused in a certain way in relation to devotion, we kind of feed off each other. So that's another one of the wonderful, amazing things about Krishna consciousness is that, even though we carry it individually, the energy of service and love is in a way, very collective and very, very sharing. So Srila Govinda Maharaj, he so much has given us that kind of mood and that kind of feeling in Krishna consciousness. You know, your guru comes in and sits down at the prasadam table, like he did here, and takes prasadam with us, and smiles, and sometimes tells jokes, and you know, it was just unimaginable. Somehow or other, by some higher arrangement, higher grace, those of us who got the opportunity to serve and see Srila Govinda Maharaj will be eternally benefited and blessed. So, Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai. Still nobody else here, huh?
Well, yes, just before you speak, Prabhu, if you don't mind, I would like to invite somebody who just appeared here and has beautiful things to say. Please, Vidura Prabhu. He's saying no, but come for 1 minute. Yes. No?
Come on, come on.
1 minute. Are you sure? You don't want to say 1 minute? Okay. Okay. So, who wants to speak next? Shrileka. Okay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. He's like the sun, and he's like the hearts of the devotees are like ponds, and the sun of Gurudeva is reflecting in every heart of the fortunate devotees who are here. And we know human life, Srila Guru Maharaj says that human life is so rare, and it is the best opportunity for spiritual life. And the earth planet, so dear to Krishna. So here we are, we've been born on the earth planet in human bodies, and free will has its full reign, has its full latitude in human consciousness. In other words, by touch of the sadhus, of the great Vaishnavas, we can understand what is possible to obtain by the soul. And in human life, we can practice that. It's so rare. And sometimes we need to just shh for a second and remember this. In the higher planetary systems, everyone is forced to enjoy the results of their pious activities. And in the lower planetary systems, everyone is forced to get a little comeuppance for selfish behavior, right? But in human life, and here we are. But in human life, there's so many scriptures that are given for different kinds of attainments, of liberation, of the higher planetary systems, mystic yoga, and the non-differentiated thing, you know, I'm out of here business, or going down, down, down. But to come to the prospect of what Mahaprabhu has come to give, and to hear about that and to be blessed with that prospect, that you could say is nearly impossible. And yet here we are, right? It's you could. I mean, if we look really at the whole gamut of potential of consciousness, that is not. It's just not going to happen. But here we are, and that is because Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Gaura Das Babaji by his divine influence, then Srila Saraswati Thakur by his inconceivably intense desire to spread this prospect all over the world. Then Srila Prabhupada coming to the West. Then after Srila Prabhupada, as Sripad Nyasi Maharaj was saying, after Srila Prabhupada, we all felt like orphans. And then we came to hear the inconceivable Siddhanta of Srila Guru Maharaj because Prabhupada wanted that for us. Prabhupada taught us how to be human beings, right? How to behave ourselves, how to bow down, how, the regulations of a regulated life with the prospect of love of God. Then Srila Guru Maharaj, he refined that Siddhanta so much, giving us the whole process of surrender and the whole depth of every Siddhantic point. Every question went to the deepest plane at all times. And then, as Sri Panyasi Maharaj was saying, when Srila Govinda Maharaj stepped forward into our lives like the shining sun, he wanted us to throw away that formality. Because in the plane where he lives, there's no such thing as formality. That is all giving some distance. It's not real. But the real plane of divine love is so informal. It's so affectionate. But what is the qualification for that? It is full surrender. It's actual love. As we were hearing this morning in Chaitanya Charitamrita class, when the inhabitants, those high worshipable souls are worshiping Krishna, they don't have any idea of formality, and they don't have any idea of what they're going to get out of it. It never comes into the mind. Their only getting out of it is seeing the happiness of Krishna. And when Krishna sees that they're so happy from his happiness, then he becomes more happy. And in this way, the dynamo is going. But in the dealings of Gurudev, were so informal and yet strict. He had a strictness about him, and I felt that many times. That what is this nonsense? Why are you thinking that just if you bow down and you act in this certain way that this is somehow Krishna consciousness? And when Gurudev's dealings, which are almost like seeing a moving picture of devotion, and mixed with the Siddhanta of Srila Guru Maharaj, this can give us some kind of an idea about what genuine life is. And even though mountains must be crossed, as Guru Maharaj said, to come to the plane of trinadapi sunichena, of thinking yourself lower than a blade of grass, mountains must be crossed, oceans must be crossed to come to that plane where the holy name lives. In that deep, 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 genuine feeling of love. So that's I've probably talked too much, but we don't know Gurudev that well. I don't know Gurudev that well. I think that he's as mysterious as Krishna, and we're just trying to, by our service, trying to find him. And we're going to go on trying to find him. Janame more abhilas. My hope is that life after life, I will have the service of those great souls whose whole life and soul is the dust of the holy feet of the 6 Goswamis. So we're just getting in our small boat. We're just beginning our journey, but we have such happy association. Never leave it. Don't leave it. Just never leave it. Whatever happens, as Guru Maharaj said, as Prabhupada said, and we were talking about this the other day, stay in the boat. Don't leave. This boat is going in a way that we can't even conceive. So, Jai, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai. As we're here.
You don't even have to roll.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. One thing, Gurudev said that.
No.
We're all in the same boat. I'm the captain. Just stay on the boat. I don't have a story, but I was going through some old notes that I had. Okay. I had some notes when we used to go see Gurudev in the earlier days. We had a lot of entrance into his association, and especially in Navadip, we would get up at like 3 in the morning and be able to go to his room and just hang with him for hours, and it was quite amazing. And just, you really, I don't know how much I was comprehending, but you were bathing in that association.
A little closer even.
And afterwards, I used to go around and ask everybody, do you remember what Gurudev said? Everybody was like so overwhelmed, because after several hours, how much can you digest? How much can you hold on to? And it was really like bathing in it. So I started this habit of taking a little tiny notebook with me and trying to write at least one thing down, so I'd remember something, and it would often trigger what the conversation was about. So I was going through some of those notes, and I wrote some of them down. So they're a little random. They're not necessarily connected here, but I thought I'd share them with you. And the first one, this was in 1997. And this is, the deities here were installed in 1996. So this was the next year. And he said, Sokel was not famous until Sri Sri Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari appeared. Then it became famous. And he said, Sri Sri Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari will never give disappointment to us. I thought that was really sweet. And he said, Gandharvika means who is always satisfying Krishna with dancing in a singing mood. Her dance in every heart will fulfill that name. And I was like, when I read that, it was like, wow. I somehow didn't hold on to that. And it was like hearing it for the first time. I just thought, how amazing are our deities, And these are all random. So the next line I came across was, consciousness is living everywhere. Conscious body is covered by mental body, anger, lust, and greed. And this is something that I think for myself was more revealed in Gurudev's presence and Guru Maharaj, that about consciousness being everywhere. Like reality is everywhere. It's not another place. It's not like we're going to another place. We're changing our consciousness and becoming more aware of what is real. And that's what he was talking about there. This is another one. When there is no service, I have no existence. Like that should be a bumper sticker or something. And then there's a couple more. Under shelter of Guru and Gauranga, we can proceed, and with love and affection, the environment will help us, and happily we can proceed to our destination. It's just like a simple formula, right? Shelter of Guru and Gauranga, we can proceed, and with love and affection, the environment will help us, and happily we can proceed to our destination. This one I thought was very appropriate for myself. We have been given brain for realization. Try to use for realizing. Then one more. Not to surrender to your nature, surrender to your service. So we would be able to spend like mornings with him, and all this, that's what the whole environment was filled with, all of this, and you could never remember it. I could never remember it afterwards. So writing them down, these little snippets have become a guideline, and it just gives you a little indication of what it was like to be with him. He was so affectionate, so kind, so approachable, and yet he was giving us such high conception and like a real lifeline to lift us out of this place and guide us, and over and over and over, be humble, be tolerant, give honor. And it was really easy in his presence because he was lifting us all. And he's been gone from our sight for 15 years now. And we're seeing, like, it's hard. It's hard to remember everything, to behave properly and follow these guidelines. But with all of your association coming together like in this beautiful gathering, it helps us remember this mood and these practices that help elevate us, and together we can hopefully visit for another darshan with Srila Gurudev again, you know. Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Do you want to speak to your?
Dandavas to all the wonderful Vaishnavas gathering here in this special sweet place that Gurudeva chose himself. He said he wanted to see who's coming, who's going, and what they're offering to the deity. So here we are together, as the sign said, in service, love, and Sankirtan. Gurudeva gave us so much. He gave us such an unconditional affection. He saw our condition, but he was always hopeful. He said being hopefulness is a sin. We have to be hopeful. He was full of hope for us. One time even he said, I see all of you as self-realized souls. So he was planting that seed, that hope, that treasure in our hearts. And through service, to the execution of our service, we love and care. I always wondered in this modern life, meditation, and they meditate in something void, empty. We have this opportunity to meditate in what we're doing, sweeping, mopping, cooking, cutting vegetables, doing garlands. That's such a way to meditate in colors, in shape, thinking that it's going to be offered, it's going to be in the deities that Gurudeva himself installed for us. I remember Vishahadev used to tell us, remembering Srila Prabhupada, he used to say, if you see the deities like dolls or statues, they're going to be dolls and statues all your life. But if you see them as the supreme personality of Godhead, these same deities, they're going to smile to you in this lifetime. And there were a blessing that our guardians give, that there is a hope in this path. It's not an easy path. We are in Kali Yuga. This material world is tricky and difficult, but we have so much hope by the grace of our guardians that together we help each other with our little drops of devotion, and then that make us strong and help us keep going. In Venezuela they used to say, it's a resistance walk. It's not velocity, it's just resistance. So we have to resist, and we have to put in all our care in the service. Whatever service is transcendental. It's not high, lower, no, it's just transcendental. And that will give nourishment, and it will give hope and happiness to all of our hearts. So thank you for all being here, and it's so wonderful to have this sweet association. And all honors, all glories to our most beautiful, loving Gurudeva, affectionate Gurudeva, that with his smile, he just conquered the terrible false ego that living everywhere in this Kali Yuga. Dandava, forgive my offenses.
Thank you for mentioning Sripad Rishabh Dev.
Yeah.
We have Jaram Prabhu just arrived. I want to kick this side a little bit. And Ravas Prabhu, we are doing 5 minutes talk, drops of nectar about Srila Govinda Maharaj. Really sweet and brief.
Jai Srila Govinda Maharaj ki jai. What can I say? I gather nectar from the real devotees. closer. Is this better? Srila Govinda Maharaj, what I gathered, his entire preaching, how he took forth and how he is continuing to take forth. Mahaprabhu's conception is everything else is there, but in the center is taste. He's all about taste. The taste of Krishna consciousness, the taste of that goes the deepest, and taste will take us all the way. So I'm coming to understand, I'm a student myself, and is that taste is supreme. And if one gets that, then all else is a lot easier, and it follows. But at the heart, the heart transaction is taste. So if we can get that taste, then we can get everything else. And until then, pranadapi sunichen tarariva saishna amanina vanadena kirtaniya sadahari. And so we practice till then, till we get to the stage of taste. And then we can, people go, others like realize their potential. And this is about exceeding the potential, all potentials. So that can only happen by higher mercy, the descending process, and not me or anyone else trying to achieve something. You cannot achieve taste. So in my little vision, this is what I have, and pardon my offenses, and we'll continue like that. That's all right. Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. This mantra itself kind of is my story in my way, and that is, there's a greatness, the mercy of Gurudev, that he opened my eyes and took away ajnana. Because I had been seeker, and I had been kind of looking at it from a scientific perspective, historical books perspective, philosophy perspective, so many questions, so many things, wanting to seek, and everything is disjointed. But here, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, I got connected to this mission of Srila Gurudev. And that opened the door to Guru Maharaj's conception, which is all answering. It answered all my questions that I had. It not only answered it, it unified, it integrated. What is that word is synthesized together as one. And one is not disjointed from another. So all these questions that I had, he really opened my eyes. And it did not take much. Just a connection with Srila Gurudev, and all the devotees who have spent years serving him. That really is a source of jnana that keeps coming to me. So I was like a poor man wanting some glimpse of treasure. But the moment I stepped on that door of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, established by Gurudev, the devotees here, this much, then my eyes are just popping out, because the treasure inside is so much more to discover. There is so much more one can have, and all those things, all those mundane questions and answers, that the answers for which I was seeking were really behind. They are really mundane And so the greatest benefit, the greatest mercy has descended upon me. And it is with the mercy of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj, got connected with the conceptions of Sridhar Maharaj. And all these great personalities who have met Sridhar Maharaj, it's a joy to see you because Sridhar Maharaj's word and stories and his books answer all the questions that I have as a scientist, as a person, as a child, and really it gives me access to that great wealth that awaits us all, and that joy and wealth is never ending. It is ever increasing, and there is absolutely no doubt about it. And I'm so thankful for all the devotees who are serving other devotees and maintaining this ashram, so that we can come here and get some sadhu sang. And that is such a wonderful thing and such a great fortune for us to be here. And all that I can say is I'm so thankful for all the devotees, and I'm supremely thankful to Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj.
At some point, we're going to pass the microphone so we go around. But before that, we need the queen of the service to speak about her divine master. Divya, can you share some words? Punch me. I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God, Gurudeva, Hare Krishna. Family, that's what I feel. Oh, all glories to Shishi Guru and Garanga. All glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Saraswati Thakur. You think of one, you have to think of all the others, isn't it? Then you think of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and our whole family. We're so family orientated. And every time I come here, I feel family. I feel home comfort. And we know this is where we belong. We belong with each other. We belong in this service to the center. And who is it coming from? It's coming from Gurudeva. Yeah? And I was thinking about this beautiful program that Gurudeva had. I think it was at the Civic Center. I think it was 1997, but that might be too soon. But it was Srila Prabhupada's centennial. And everybody knows that tape that day. Pacific Cultural Center, was it? 1996, okay. Pushpa Krishna organized it, and we were all floating. Gurudev spoke like he just flowed. He didn't let up. And it was an hour and a half, this video, and it was just incredible. And how he glorified Srila Prabhupada. And I think we should all watch that video this week because it's so amazing. And, Siddhanti Maharaj was there, and, everybody was there, and, Pushpa Krishna was there, and Gopal Krishna, right? One of the... Yeah, Swarup Damodar. It was just incredible. And Gurudev spoke so beautifully. And he chanted so many verses, and everything just came out of him. And he was chanting the different mantras for each yuga. And he said, in this yuga, they chanted this. Da-da-da-da-da. In this yuga, they chanted this. And then this yuga, they chanted that. And in Kali Yuga, they chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And I was like, oh my God, he just knows everything, It's just like, wow, he was just mind-blowing. And you could hear a pin drop in there, and we were all so attentive to him. And it was so loving. And he just gave us everything. And he just wanted to give us everything. And he glorified Srila Prabhupada, you know, to the max. And how could any of us think that we are not connected or grateful, or how we all had to be grateful for what Srila Prabhupada gave us. And then he spoke how Srila Prabhupada, you know, made the tunnel so that he can come through, so that we can all come through. And he was so grateful for Srila Prabhupada and about what Srila Prabhupada gave us. And, you know, Gurudeva just continued to give that through Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and it's just amazing. And I'm just very grateful to be here and with all of you, and here back here back in my home. And it's so wonderful to be here. That's all I can say. And we're so grateful for all the service that, you know, we get to do, that it's such a privilege to have service. It's a privilege to even want to do service, to have the proper desire to even want to engage in service, to even serve others or to serve the devotees. It's a privilege, and we can't forget that. And I'm just grateful for that, and that I still have a bit of a desire to try to serve and learn what service is. And from all you guys and from all of you constantly serving here and serving this beautiful oasis, this beautiful place. It is an oasis because, you know, we are drinking the nectar that has been given to us, that has descended, you know, to our hearts. And, you know, life is short, you know, we're all getting old. And, you know, they say as you get older, you know, it gets quicker. Like Raghavinda was telling me when I was here last, you know, 1 year feels like 3 years. You know, when you get older, you go down the hill a little bit quicker, you know. And so let's not waste any more time and just go for the goal, you know. Like Sureshri Didi always would say that we've won the lotto ticket, you know. So I just thought that, you know, that video of Gurudeva says a lot about his heart space, and we should all try to watch it again. And I'm just grateful that whatever I'm feeling, it's all coming from him and Gurudeva and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. And I'm just grateful that whatever we have is coming from Gurudeva and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. And I pray that I can remain a servant to all of you. I mean, really, if I could try to learn how to serve from all of you, you know, it's a blessing, and it's coming from him, coming from above. So let's be grateful for each other and grateful for what we've got. We won the lotto ticket. It's a beautiful thing. So I can't even, that word doesn't even describe how lucky we are, how fortunate we are to be here at this time in this life and have this connection. So Jai Srila Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Jai Shri Guru Parampara, Jai Anandamayi Didi Ki Jai, the queen of our beautiful Govinda Mela.
She'll be next. Prabhu. Yeah.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And, Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. remember when the first year he came here, first he came and he told Shabdev to purchase the temple. But then he had to come back, right? He wanted to see what it was like. And everybody was working really hard to finish it. It almost didn't get finished. In fact, his room wasn't completely finished, like 9/10 finished, but he stayed in the room anyway. And then he was here in the fall, so Radhastami came. And he gave this amazing lecture. And it was almost like it was just a lecture about Srila Rupa Goswami. But it was all about Srila Rupa Goswami's realizations about Srimati Radharani. And just one of the highest talks I've ever heard. Does anybody remember that? You were here, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, and there were so many points that just I had heard from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and they're in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but it came alive. He made it all come alive, like we were there, like and he talked about Kurukshetra. Yeah, and he quoted all these amazing Sanskrit verses, very long, and then he closed with how when Mahaprabhu was time for him to wind up his pastimes, and he gave a cryptic remark. No, it was Vitacharya told him that or something. That if anybody remembers, that there's so much now. There's no reason to continue selling rice. The storehouse of rice has been filled up, and so it's taken that he was telling him that Mahaprabhu, it's time to wind up your pastimes in this world. And I just remember that amazing talk. If I could repeat more, I would repeat more. And I'm so impressed by the Guru Nishta, how you all have so much faith in Srila Govinda Maharaj, and especially those who were here when he was present, and who are his followers and his disciples. It's very amazing to observe this, and inspiring. I feel like I shouldn't even be allowed to speak, but I've been called on to speak. So when I come in the temple room, there's that picture of him smiling, and sometimes I really feel that he's smiling. If you look at that picture, he'll smile at you. He will. He's very, very merciful, and very forgiving of our follies. He really is. He really is. And I feel so, honored to be here and be able to speak. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. We see that Sudarshan Prabhu arrived, but I'm going to give you a hot minute to breathe. And while you do that, I want to pass to... Sorry? Yeah, you're going to talk first, and then I'm going to pass around.
And Ratnam is going to speak. Glorify Gurudeva. Say something about Gurudeva.
I guess I've got a sweet story from when I was 19 or 20 in Navadvip. I got given some service by that time Mananda Brahmachari. The funny service, which was hold this massive bamboo, which is almost 15 feet, and protect all the boga from the monkeys. And I remember I was like, Prabhu, I don't think I'm the right person for this job. I love animals. I'll just let them have it all. There's no way I'm going to be able to hit a monkey. I'm just far too Western for that. I just think I'm not going to do a good job of it. He was like, no, you can do this. Protect the boga because, this is service. And I was like, so I stood there and all the monkeys were taking stuff and I was like, shoo. Very not aggressive enough to get rid of them. And then basically I failed miserably. It was any wonder that any devotees got prasadam that evening, but somehow some miracles happened. And then afterwards, the next day it was Mangalarati, and we always went to spend time with Gurudev. And as everyone was leaving, Gurudev was like, no, Ratnavali, you stay. And I was like, oh no, the monkey story. Somebody told Gurudev about the boga. I was very panicked. And so I was just like, I'm going to get told off now. I knew that was service wasn't for me. But, I stayed. And then I was like, Gurudev, I'm so sorry about the boga. The stick was too big, and I just started over-explaining. And Gurudeva was just looking at me like confused, like, what stick? What monkey? And I just realized it was nothing to do with the boga or the, the failed service. And then Gurudeva was like, no, I just wanted to see if you're okay. And I'm like, I am now. And he was like, no, just that no one's pressurizing you because you're single, you're here, and lots of unwanted attentions can come, and no one's pressurizing you to get married or anything like that. I'm like, married? No, Gurudev. Not that I'm aware of. No, Gurudev. I was like so relieved. Thank God it's not but Gurudev doesn't know about the boga and the monkeys. and he was always so caring, and he's so protective of all the devotees, especially also his girls, because, sorry, but the girls were the good ones and the boys are naughty. We all know that line. But Gurudev especially knew that, and he always protected us completely and made sure that we were okay, and that was so special. And I just ruined the moment by obviously going on about monkeys, and but it was so sweet, and that kind of, to me, just typified, like, Gurudev had a pulse on everything that was going on in the mission. He might look like he's sitting in his room and just gently looking at the newspaper and looking out the window, but he knew everything. He had his pulse on all of our personalities, all of our issues, and it's so special, and he was so special. He is so special. And I think that's not something that we should ever underestimate. And that's something that we should also take forward in all our missions, actually, and how Gurudev was protective and he just took care of us all. And we have to kind of try and live our lives remembering that very, very important teaching that, serve the real Vaishnav Seva was typified and exemplified by Gurudev, who served always selflessly. Jai Gurudev.
Okay, just let
when they first heard that they were going to do this, I thought, well, I won't talk and say anything because so many people had so much more association with Gurudev than I didn't. So many people were so much better following Gurudev than I was. So I was like, what could I say? But then I thought, I had some contact with him on 4 or 5 occasions. And I think I'm just going to tell them chronologically, although it might make better sense dramatically if I told them a different way. The first time I saw Govinda Maharaj, I was in a storefront temple in Brooklyn, and there were some devotees there, and we had the storefront temple, and he had come to talk. And he talked for a while, and I kind of knew the man. I kind of knew who Srila Maharaj was. I kind of had read some of the books, but I really didn't know anything about Govinda Maharaj except what people had told me when he was going to come. That they were some people were going to try and get initiation by hiding behind the tree when he gave it, and all things that people were going to do. So they were having a big. He was talking, and then they're going to have a big dinner, and some people are going to go upstairs. The VIPs are going to have a dinner upstairs. Everybody else is going to have a dinner downstairs. So I was all the way at the front door. I'd come in, I was throwing out the garbage, and he came out of the temple room, and he was like kind of nodding his head. There were a lot of people around there. And he was nodding his head to everyone, like kind of paying his obeisances. Now this is the part you'll think I'm strange, you can think I'm whatever, but this is what happened. When I saw him, I guess it was a hallucination or I don't know what it was, but it was as if I saw a movie start to unfold in my mind. And he wasn't just nodding his head to everyone, he was paying full dandavats on the floor to everyone who was there. And the whole thing began to be kind of filled with a sunshine or light or something. And I thought to myself, I can't believe, this is the real thing. This is what I've been around Krishna consciousness, I don't know, maybe 18 years by that time. And I tried to be initiated by everyone that I tried to be initiated wound up not initiating because they had some problems. And after a while I was like, give me the person with the most problems because I got to get initiated somehow or another. And it just really amazed me because I saw this, and to me it meant, I thought to myself, well, this is what they're talking about. This is what, when they're talking about the Guru, or in the Bhagavad Gita, wherever they're talking about the Guru, this is what they're talking about. Now I unfortunately was going to be taking initiation very soon from someone else, and this was like 2 ships that passed the night, because he was there, he was leaving, and I was there. So I had seen him, I thought, well, at least I had seen someone like that, even I may never know them. And well, a long time later, I won't make this too much about myself, I wound up living here in Santa Cruz, and the ashram wound up being here, and people told me, oh, it's too far up, you can't go up that road that far, you can't ride your bike up the road that far, you'll never get up there. And but somebody took me up here. Somebody took me up here, and I kind of saw the place, everything, and you can see how beautiful the place is. And then I went up there the second time, and Govinda Maharaj was up in his room, and he was going to go to India. He was leaving to go back to India, and I was laying down on that wall where where the garden is. I was laying on that wall. I was thinking, what can I say to him? I got to say something to him. What can I possibly say to him? I don't know anything I can say to him. And I thought, he's going to get on a long plane trip. I'm going to say to him, Maharaj, have a safe trip. And that's the thing to say to him. And I had to fight my way up that wall, and there were so many people in there, and I got in there, and I finally got in the room with him there. He was getting up to leave. I thought, oh, I missed it. He's leaving. What am I going to do now? And I kind of dove at his feet and popped up really quick. And I said, Jai Maharaj, have a safe trip. And he turned around, and he embraced me. And he said to me, I'm going to tell you, this is what he said. He said to me, only by your grace is it possible. Not why did he say anything to me. I figured out later why. He could probably tell how down and out I was and how bad I felt. He was going to tell me something to make me feel good. I mean, certainly it's my grace can't be anywhere. But that's what he said to me the first time I saw him. And then, I wanted to get initiated by him. So I was saying, oh, am I going to initiate? And I knew he did not reinitiate people who had been initiated before. But I was very fortunate. I said, this is going to work. Because it was Kirtananda who had initiated me. And I had an argument with him later. And he wanted me to go back to New York. I didn't want to go. And he was saying, well, you're not going. And I said, well, I'm not going to go. That's that. And he said, blah, 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 you're this and you're that. And if you get be inspired by me, then you have to find someone else who will inspire you. And that was my key through the door, because he had told me, you have to be inspired by someone else. And he said, well, since it's like that, he wrote me back an email, then I can. Eventually, I took it kind of Ritvik through Janai Maharaj, because everybody had been here, they were waiting, he was going to come, and I was waiting, he was going to come, and I had to go away somewhere, so I wasn't here when he was here. And when I came back, I was like, I don't care about anything, I'm going to get initiated by him now. And they finally agreed to that, and they let me get initiated. And then I saw him in Australia. And it was a great thing. I wish I could remember this, because I asked some question in the class, and he gave the answer. He was talking about the question I had asked for about like a half an hour. I thought I had asked a good question, because he answered for so long. So I was so happy with that. And I actually one time talked to him like about as far apart as we are. I talked to him like that. But I consider him to be, maybe I don't like this word, but he's a magical person. He's not an ordinary person to me. And I'll tell you one other thing. When he passed away, I was not coming up here very much at that time. I wasn't really involved in anything. And but somehow on my computer, someone said that he had passed away, so I didn't believe that. And I went to the Mott website, and I found out that he had passed away. And I have to say, I didn't cry when my mother died. I didn't cry when my father died. I didn't cry when my sister died. But when Govinda Maharaj died, I was late for work, because I cried for about 45 minutes. I could not stop from crying. And I wondered, why? Why am I doing this?
I don't feel like I've been doing anything else. And at that particular time, I didn't feel so connected to the ashram. I didn't feel connected to anything. And I thought, well, you know what? It transcends all of that. And the other thing I want to say is this. When he was initiating me, he said, you know, he said, and if you cheat, you will not get the benefit. So I would say to you all, I have cheated very much. If you'll all please, allow me to plug myself back in, because that's why I'm here. I figured I had to get plugged back in, and suddenly this was happening. So I don't know why things happen in my life like that. I get just what I need at the time I need it, but that's what I can say.
Thank you, Prabhu. I want to pass the microphone for the main person, the caregiver of this temple that you see every day, our beloved Krishna Priya. She does multitude of things here in the ashram, but she is our guardian of this temple with her 2 lions that are in our muse for Govinda Mela 2025. You see the t-shirts are based on these guardians, and our beautiful Krishna Priya that makes this place a palace. And she named them. Yeah.
Anyway, Jai Gurudev. I was first initiated by Goswami Maharaj in 1984, and then later when Guru Maharaj left, he sent his disciples to Srila Govinda Maharaj, but it took me like a long time to meet Srila Govinda Maharaj, and I finally met him here in SoCal in 1994, and the minute he stepped off the plane and he smiled, I was completely captivated. And anyway, I don't know what else to say. He's just wonderful, and as everyone is saying, and beautiful. And we're all here by his mercy. And the name of the lions are Bhishma and Bhima. Jai Gurudev.
Here, dear, please.
Oh my God. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki. I offer my obeisances to all the devotees. It proves that mercy is real, right? That somehow or other we can arrive here. We hear these stories in the scriptures of scriptures personified are feeling like they cannot actually express the glories of the Lord, right? They're feeling that they're falling short. So how amazing must the Lord be? And of course, how can we possibly describe and use words for some feeling of the heart, right? So for sure I will fall short on the glories of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That type of caliber of Vaishnava is so rare that we almost think, how is it possible that I can stumble across this type of truth in this dark world that we kind of seem to be selfishly wandering through. And, it's even at a time where it may seem that no saintly person could exist because selfishness has taken over in such a titanic movement, right, that it's not possible. And so I've always loved in sermons where Srila Guru Maharaj, he says, and the saints, they are standing like pillars of faith, affirming, yes, this is true and this is possible. And just by the remembrance of the lives of the saints, our own faith will become upgraded. So when we're remembering the stories of Srila Govinda Maharaj's, really what else can we say? Mercy. What I offered is something offensive and repugnant. And what I got back was mercy. Something so flawed. And it's such an amazing idea if we're thinking of this idea of the culture of surrender is I'm throwing myself towards you as I am, right? Not the idea of who I am or who I wish you could see that I look like I am, but this very flawed, person, right? Like these sentences from Guru Maharaj are such an amazing way to start to see reality, but we had no way to even hear those things without Gurudev's mercy. You know, it's like that sentence from Srila Guru Maharaj, humility means being open to infinite possibility. Like such a vision. And we can see that with Srila Gurudev's vision. He's like, he's reciprocating with so many varieties of people that we're like, our minds are the ones getting disturbed, right? Not his mind, our minds, right? You know, and it's like this idea that actually divinity is moving through and reciprocating to the hearts of everyone, not only in this Brahmanda, but like through the multiverse, right? That there's some saintly energy that is moving through and reciprocating with that desperate, longing heart feeling that can come from the soul. And truly, we would think maybe it's impossible, but somehow or other, right? Just like Hey Deva Bhavantam Vande and Rupa Goswami's Kirtan, even the impossible can become possible. And I have heard of the astonishing mercy that comes from your feet, and I yearn to see you. So these kinds of hopeful and amazing divine vibrations that are coming from their mouth, expressing so much affection for the Lord and his devotees that you can be swept up, and that every other dream of this material energy will seem like ashes, right? They will, like, you know, when Dhruva Maharaj is finally seeing the Lord, he's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. I wanted a kingdom. It's like, oh, I'm embarrassed, you know. So how high and how beautiful must the Lord be if we see his feet, that we'll feel like so shocked, like, I can't believe I even was like thinking of that with so much of my time. So that's the amazing, you know, gift, and the only reciprocation we can try to have is to try and throw our lives in that direction. So we feel Srila Gurudev's presence here, and we feel it's more than I deserve, somehow or other, that I've arrived, and it's really my Dandavat Pranams to everybody here.
Thank you. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask Prabhus to talk, and then we pass microphone to Sudarshan, and then we're gonna go this way and collecting nectar and preparing ourselves for our next events as well. So thank you. Everybody who wants to speak will be able to speak.
And Anandamaya, you should speak first.
No.
Hare Krishna.
No.
Wait. I think it's enough we see your smiling face. Dandavats, everyone. So very, very fortunate, echoing Rakeshwari's feeling that we're somehow here. Srila Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi, a very beautiful understanding of Prakriti Leela, that, you know, by touching Srila Gurudev's body, this flower is representing the spiritual world and his pastimes within it. And actually, you know, I have one experience that happened here in SoCal that kind of jarred me into some maybe a little deeper understanding of who Srila Gurudev is. Srila Guru Maharaj says that we're in one plane of experience, which is Bhurloka, Bhuloka. Bhuloka means you're perceiving the vibrations of a particular type of matter, okay? And because we're so illusioned, we immediately try to impose our will, and our desires and our fears are all happening in terms of what happens in this world of matter. But there are higher planes within this universe. We know Bhuva, Swaha, Maharjana, Tapasatya. And then there's even higher planes. You know, Guru Maharaj says, then there's Prakriti Nirvana, which is the place of the Buddhists. There's Brahma Nirvana, which is Sankaracharya's place.
then Sadashiva Loka, moving into the personal world, and then Vaikuntha, and then so many fine layers of consciousness in terms of relationship with the Lord leading up to Goloka Vrindavan. So we can understand how completely distant we are in our tiny world of hopes and fears, bound up in matter. You know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Miche Maya Baddha Jiva. We're bound. But a real representative of that highest plane of consciousness, Goloka Vrindavan, actually was in our presence and is in our presence through his beautiful Samadhi maintained by these great devotees here, honestly. One time when Gurudeva was visiting here, I had there's nowhere to sleep. So they put a piece of plywood in the rafters of the house. And I had a sleeping bag, and we would climb the little ladder and sleep in the rafters. And I'd try to get up really early so that I wasn't like disturbing anybody when I came down, you know. But one morning I came down in my gamsha, and it's like really early, and Gurudeva was sitting in the dark by himself in the room there, and I'm coming down the ladder, and I hear Gurudeva singing these very, very, very long shlokas, just to himself, by himself, you know, like da 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 da, like that, like really long, and I have no idea what they are. I still don't know, but in his actual authentic life, he's communing with that higher plane. And I felt really like horribly in positioning that I walked into that room, and I'm kind of like trying to like sneak by into the, and then Gurudev stops and he goes, Dandavat Prabhu. And I'm just like, I mean, it really hit me. Like, he is actually an authentic, truly humble Vaishnava, but a representation, a living connection with that higher plane. And if we think of so many layers that our consciousness has to pass through to somehow reach his plane of consciousness, but that he descended here within our ability to perceive, simply to give his mercy to us. And that mercy is still shining from his authentic representation. In his, you know, the Samadhi, meaning the heart vibration, the heart meditation of him living here in this beautiful ashram, which he came to so many times. So somehow, I mean, really, we struggle to understand what we've come into connection with. But somehow we have some opportunity to give a portion of our meager lives to try to serve Gurudev and reciprocate with his mercy and his connection. So, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
No, not at all.
Of course, I have to try to follow Sudarshan. What can I say? I just thinking about everything. I don't know. I missed what some people had said, but when I think of Gurudev, I mean, Trinada Pisu Nichana comes to mind. He personified, you know, to the greatest extent. Gurudev. I think for me, thinking about Gurudev, I always think of causeless mercy, like trying to understand causeless mercy, and like, why are we so fortunate, you know, and why does Gurudev give his mercy to someone like myself? But we all see that, I mean, causeless, there is no cause, it's mercy, like from the highest degree. And I think about Chaitanya Charitamrita saying like, the jiva soul can go through millions and millions of lifetimes and birth and death. And, you know, if you're fortunate, then you'll come across the path of a real sadhu, you know, a real Vaishnava. And somehow we're all so fortunate that we have come across the Vaishnava. And you all know I'm going to cry. I mean, Forgive me, I'm a sentimental person. But we all have an opportunity to serve Gurudev, even now, and more so, and even now it's needed. You know, the world needs this mercy as well, and we all have an opportunity to share that. And I just think I could tell you all the times I've had with Srila Gurudev, and like Gurudev smiled at me. But I know he smiled at everybody. But when he smiles at you, it's something special, right? But so many little things. We all have our stories of Srila Gurudev, and they're all special, and they're all in our hearts. And we're all fortunate that we all get to share that together. And I'm really appreciative of the devotees here. My Dandavats. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
So I don't think I can follow any of them, but right before Rai Kishori spoke, the word that always comes to mind is just indescribable. Like, you really cannot describe Gurudev in words. Just everything good and everything merciful and beautiful. And anyway, I was pouring tears while she spoke, so just kind of like echoing that, because I thought that word, and then she kind of started on that note and just like described it more beautifully than I ever could. But yeah, so Dandavats to you all. I'm so grateful to be here.
I mean, it's so evident that this world is so dark and terrible. And our hearts just get harder and harder, and there's more and more pain and more suffering. And Gurudev didn't leave 15 years ago. He, I feel, became more... One time he looked at me and he said, "I want you to develop your internal relationship with me." Yes, Gurudev. But I think that's how I responded. I was 18, 19. And all I know is that this world is suffering. That is my experience every day. And the only thing that gives relief is this. Hearing from every single devotee talking about Gurudev, remembering him, reading Shravanam Kirtanam. I remember when I lived in India, this expression was going around. It's how you row the boat. It's how you move forward. And we don't know really our relationship with our Gurudev, but maybe we can all feel that it's not just from this lifetime. There's something deeper than what we understand. And we hear how Guru continues to appear. It may not be the same Guru. This topic comes up in the Golden Staircase, which I'm reading right now. And I can feel the difference. I'm reading some sort of self-help thing for some projects I'm working on, and it's like in the brain. And then I finally get to read the Golden Staircase, and it's like, like a quenching. And that's what it feels like to sit here and to listen. And all I know is suffering. But Gurudev is a transmitter of, beyond a transmitter, but for the sake of the example, what Sudarshan was saying, he's a genuine connecting with that higher plane, and he is transmitting that. And there's no living entity that cannot feel that. I remember watching how the dogs behave around him, the little kids behave around him, the adults, the atheists, the proud Mayavadis from the Buddhist temple in Santa Cruz who walk in and see him. Something happens. And so he's setting the standard for what is that vibration. The only thing is that we must become receivers. And by dint of his association, some of the crustaceans are eroding. But it's also our responsibility. And so this Govinda Mela is our camp for taking action by receiving, by hearing, and by sharing from our heart and allowing our hearts to soften by the agency of that vibration that Gurudeva has put in the hearts of all of the devotees. No matter whether you met him now or didn't, or 15 years ago, or you're meeting him now, you are meeting him now, because that vibration that he's giving is non-different. And so he set the standard for what is love, what is practice, what is joy, what is revelation. And I'm so grateful that I got that, because otherwise I wouldn't know what is what. I would be lost, confused, and not here. And so he's set that standard in our hearts. And we can understand reality based on that. There is no happiness in this world that can match that feeling of being in a kirtan with Gurudev. The things of this world, I go, oh wow, people think that's, whoa. What I felt just standing in a kirtan with Gurudev is the ultimate happiness that most people don't even get to experience. And we all have the opportunity to experience that. And so what we'll feel in the kirtans this week and in these moments, that is real, and that is our treasure, that is our wealth. That is the only thing we can take and that we are really receiving in this life as Jiva Atma. That is the only real currency that can actually touch us on a real level and feed us. We are hungry. We are like ghosts. We are in the shadow plane. We don't know what kind of taste the holy name, the chanting, the Shravanam Kirtanam, sadhana, serving the Vaishnavas, and what Sharnagi said about Gandharvika. Wow, she is the queen, and she is singing and teaching us how to engage in the ultimate proper Harinam Sankirtan, whether we sing beautifully or ugly or weakly or strongly or off tune. Whatever you do, just make sure you sing and listen and hear, and it's really all we have. And Gurudev, even as like a 3-year-old being carried up the stairs of Vaishnavi's house in Venezuela, which was the temple, I was 3. And I remember my first time I saw him, I don't know anything, but I just saw this shining essence with all these devotees, with this like, he is the center of the universe. That's my 3-year-old memory, imprint of what he really is. And he's existing in the hearts of all of us. And we can speak to him. We have to become proper receivers. We have to try. And he did not leave. And he's sometimes like, why aren't you speaking to me? Come here and speak to him. He's in everything and in our hearts. Sudarshan Prabhu brought up the Pushpa Samadhi, and then my mind flashed to this little Indian tin cup. I had filled it with dirt from his Pushpa Samadhi in Navadvip. And I brought it back, and this little sprout started growing. And I had this little plant growing. And I felt like I couldn't believe it. I brought something from Navadvip. I brought this transcendental thing, and there's this Dambasi growing in this little cup. And so this is all the holy Dham. The birds, the way I remember as a kid, right? Whoever was here, we remember as kids how Gurudev interacted with the land, with the trees, with the birds, This is truly transcendental. It's the holy Dham. And remember that these are wish-fulfilling trees, and they can hear your hearts and your thoughts. This really is a magical wonderland. We are in a Harry Potter thing. Like, this is real, and he is this divine wizard. And I think Reiki Shori also said this. I was feeling this early. He, like what they say about Om, that what you're looking for, it exists. He is that representation. He is that embodiment of, yes, the joy you're looking for, the love you're looking for, the family feeling you're looking for, whatever you're looking for, it exists. And when I was wanting to live with him in India, I couldn't take it anymore. And I wrote him this letter and I said, you are Govinda. You fulfill both material and spiritual desires. Knowing that I have material desires, you're instructing me to finish my education, but I must cross your instruction like the Ananya Bhak, because how will I know what is service if I do not get to associate with you? What good will my education be? And so the only way, okay, fulfill material desires, get an education, but everything must be for your service, even the fulfillment of anything at all. And in Navadvip, when I lived there, I would pray, to desire, to want to have a drop of devotion. So even if that's where we are, it counts. So, and he really liked confidence, devotees having confidence and enthusiasm. So don't be shy to serve. Don't be shy to ask questions. Don't be shy. He likes us to take initiative. And I know this because I remember what it was like to grow up with him. And I remember how he would respond. And I also remember going out in Calcutta, distributing books and coming back, bursting in through the doors and giving him an envelope with rupees from the collection of the day. And I would draw little things and write him a note and he would read it. So he is receiving our efforts and our hearts, and we are so grateful. So thank you for being Gurudev transmitters and helping our hearts to not be overtaken by the darkness that exists in this world. Hare Krishna. Jai Gurudev.
I love your crustacean metaphor. Oh yeah, I felt like I'm covered with crustaceans.
We can be crustacean buddies. I can't right now. Please no. I can't.
A little something. Just say Jai Gurudev. Anything.
I just want to express my gratitude to everyone here. I feel so fortunate, to be in all of your association. And at times, I feel unfortunate to not be able to meet Gurudev personally, but it always comes back to a full circle of, but I am so fortunate to be connected with the devotees of Srila Govinda Maharaj, It's always that play happening, right, within, my heart. And the wealth that Gurudev is giving to each and every one of us is of such an eternal nature that we cannot even comprehend, But it is such a rich and fulfilling stream that each and every one of you are playing a part in, whether big or small, or doesn't matter, right? It is all key to that stream. Continue its flow, right? When everyone is participating, we're all in that space of servitude, right? Of service. Just super grateful to be here. And my dandavats to every single one of you. Jai Srila Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Dandavat, all devotee, all of you. So, how I tell you everything I have not like that kind of experience what she's saying about Gurudev. But she going to crying, so hurting to me, my soul also I need to crying. But one thing is like a Gurudev is not dying. It's a Gurudev is alive. Whatever you say, talking about the Gurudev, but everything he's listening to you. But only the Gurudev's body is not with us here, but his soul, everything that he's going to with our deity, the Mahaprabhu, the same thing like a Gurudev. We have to believe in that things that we have to relieve our heart. The only disappearing the body, but not soul. Soul never ever not dying. So I am happy I will coming the Govinda Mela. I'm poor person. So I don't know how to. I trying to the couple years ago. I want to come to here, but I'm not available to be here. But now I think I'm trying to go. Okay, I force myself. I need to go. Maybe I go die tomorrow. How I come here. So how I see you guys here, everybody. We do know. I'm so afraid that when I go sleeping in the bed, I don't know tomorrow I'm wake up or not. The life is very small. We have not big life, not like a long, I don't know when we go die. So maybe I can't go my home or not. This is life. So here is nothing, it's our. Everything is temporary, so we need to forget. So now also we maybe past life, we are devotee here, all of you, maybe we have something relation watch. That reason now I connection with you. I coming here, I can see you, oh my God, so I'm so excited. I coming here, so see you here. So maybe I will trying to come to if I go die, I can't come. Maybe if I have life, I will trying to every year come to here to see you again, okay? So I love you, everybody. You are mine, okay? I know thinking like a other person. Like this is like our own house. So all we are like who is older, like a father, mother, sister, youngest brother, like a youngest sister. It is like I thinking like that. I love all the soul, not like only human. I love this dog also. That this is a. That this is our life and so much love everyone. My devotee, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, appreciate. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, my lovely. My great, my lovely sister.
I'm going to pass the microphone to Srila Didi. Yes, I am going to pass it. Oh my God, I really don't want to be the last person to speak, but I'm very grateful. I'm so grateful to be here, to hear from all of you. And I have a terrible memory, and I can't express myself nicely, but to hear all of you expressing yourself and helping me to remember Gurudev. And is this on? Yeah. Okay. It's a long road, and so we've heard the example that Guru Maharaj gives was in one of the books about the Napoleon's chair, and he had everybody standing in a circle and then sitting down and sitting on the lap of the person behind them. So you're in a circle and you're standing close, and you sit down and you're sitting on the knees of someone. So like that. And then the other example of if you have one stick and you can break that stick very easily, but if you have a bunch of sticks and they're together and you can't break those. So really our fortune is our community, is our devotional family. Obviously, coming from Gurudev, Gurudev is our guardian and well-wisher and everything to us. And now he's given all of us here to be here for the Sri Govinda Mela, and then just helping us to rekindle that enthusiasm for the practice of our daily spiritual life, and how we can continue to try to serve him, to serve the Vaishnavas, to serve the deities, to make our life full of surrender and service and enjoy. And the sign that says, what does it say? Service, surrender, and Sankirtan, or love, service. What does the sign say?
Coming together in love, service, and Sankirtan.
Ki Jai. So everybody's spoken so beautifully. Very grateful to be here. Please forgive my offenses, and just so happy and thankful to Ananda for just making so many beautiful arrangements, and everyone who's made all the arrangements for us to come and be here together. So Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai.
Turn that camera on yourself.
Who? Make myself visible. Yeah, I don't really know what to add to this, but one thing came to my mind when I was listening to Sudarshan Prabhu saying, "We are here again this year by the grace of Gurudev." And I didn't have the great fortune to take darshan of Gurudev either myself, like a few of us here. But I think I really like that sentiment. Somehow we are here. How is that possible? By the grace of Gurudev, isn't it? And this is something we must not take ever for granted. And I think that's all I have to say. Because everyone's spoken so beautifully, and I don't really know what else could I add. To Jai Gurudev. Thank you.
Jai Gurudev. I remember being in the room with Govinda Maharaj, all of us, and it was like he was pouring out affection across all of us. We were all feeling it. It was like a light that was lighting up the room, and it was very wonderful. Sometimes he could be heavy too. One time he said, "Every time I'm coming here, I'm saying, give humility, tolerance, respect, and still you are not doing." That was pretty heavy. And
I guess.
But yeah, he was both affectionate and strict at the same time. And really taught us what a Vaishnava is. And one time when I was considering receiving Harinam from him, I was talking with a devotee, and I said, "But Prabhu, he doesn't even know who I am." And he told me, he said, he knows everything about you. The question is, do you know about him? So after receiving Harinam, I began to learn about who he was, as far as I could conceive of. And I'm just very fortunate that you all tolerate me here. And you've all really saved my life.
So, Jai Gurudev.
Panchakalpas, everybody. Well, you've heard me say before, if you've been to a program here, that one of my lifetime's great regrets is not, Gurudev spent how much time here? Over a year?
6 months was the longest.
In total, though, but, 2 years, I don't know, a year. I mean, he spent so much time here. And so one of my greatest regrets is not spending more time with him. But today I was just wanting to recall, it's not it's something very personally significant to me, but in terms of it's not a funny story. It's not pretty mundane. Well, it's transcendental, but it's commonplace. That is, he gave Diksha, he gave second initiation, Gayatri Mantra, to many devotees. I think I got Harinam in 1996, and then never asked, never requested that mantra Diksha, and then he was here in, was it 2006, 2007, so it had been almost 10 years, and I can't remember, one of my godbrothers was like, you don't have, because I was never in the kitchen cooking, you don't have Gayatri, do you? Like, no, I don't feel like I'm qualified. I'm not maintaining the standard. And they're like, no, it's not about, by taking that initiation, you'll become qualified. It's an initiation. It's the beginning. It's the starting of something, right? So I was like, okay. And you don't know when Gurudev's going to come back. You don't know how long he's going to be with us. And so I said, yeah, you're right. I should do it. And so, up in his quarters there was a group of us, and just hearing Gurudev recite those mantras, those timeless, ageless mantras. Everybody who'd heard his kirtan, the potency of his, and we also heard him say so many times, you do not know what I've given you. And I think a few people here maybe have some sense, much more than I do, what he's given us, but I certainly feel like that applies to me. But just to hear him recite those mantras, of course, I've heard you're supposed to take it in the right ear, so I was turning my right ear towards him, and take it in there more than the left ear, and just to hear him recite those mantras was that's one moment I'll never forget. My memory is also very poor, unlike Raghavendu Prabhu's, he can remember what the weather was like in a particular day in 1969, but hearing Gurudev recite those mantras I'll always keep that memory in my heart and be very grateful. And I'm also grateful for all the memories that we make here at Govinda Mela. So, Jai Gurudev, Jai all of Gurudeva's devoted disciples and followers and well-wishers.
Jai Prabhu. Okay, really short, but just to say how inconceivable is Gurudev. And every time I meet the devotees, like we were having a little meeting, and then Haridev Prabhu came and met with Sharanangi this morning and said, oh, how did you meet the devotees? And then she was sharing how she met the devotees and how they met Gurudev. And my particular story, it always amazes me how Gurudeva find us, because we were praying for him without knowing, or knowingly, right? In my case, Gurudeva found me in a barbecue party in Brazil. I was meeting, it was a friend, a birthday party. We traveled 6 hours to go to this party. And then I was in university, I have a final test, I couldn't go when my friends were going. And they say, oh, a friend of a friend will give you a ride. And that friend of a friend was a devotee. So for 6 hours, he was talking. I said, I've been vegetarian my whole life. I'm not right now, and I'm really miserable. I want to go back to that, but I don't know how to take this space because my life is really crazy. He said, I'm going to take you to meet my grandma. She's a wonderful cook and she will teach you. And then she brought me to Rohini Shakti. Rohini Shakti Ashram. That's it. He called her grandma at the time, Rohini. He was not calling grandma, but he said you were the yoga teacher of his yoga teacher. So that parampara. And then I went to the ashram for the first time and I saw the devotees and they were delightfully crazy and weird. And I was, what's going on with these people? They are like super sweet, but super out of my reality. And everything that I hate in the reality was wonderful in the temple, including washing pots. And in Brazil, we don't have hot water. So in the winter, it's like cold glacial water and you're washing the pots. And I was super happy. And back home, I'm like, meh, for a little plate. So just to say that Gurudeva really sees our heart and our prayers. And he was able to take me, a daughter of atheist family, my father and my mother, in the middle of São Paulo, and bring a devotee in the middle of barbecue party, and to lead me to Krishna consciousness and all of you guys. And for that, I encourage you guys, if you have time during this Mela, ask around, make these heart-to-heart connections, witness these little miracles that Gurudeva gave to each one of us to get connection and entrance to this divine association, to the divine family. And also a little note, seva. Seva is something that is also a speed highway to connection. When I went to India for the first time, I went, again, weird museum, like, what is this place? I saw all these photos, and I don't understand. And then Malini from Malta, right, Malini? She said, come, let's clean Madhu Mangal Maharaj's kitchen. That was my first seva in India. And the things I saw there, I cannot tell you. I signed an NDA. But after that, literally the step I took after that kitchen, the whole place was different. It's like I start to get acceptance and a master key. And seva is definitely the master key to connect with the Vaishnavas. And this place is alive. Gurudeva is here. Every step is a dance. Every word is song. And every seva is a transcendental connection. So yes, we're going to have wonderful classes, but take your time to connect with everybody as you can. And I hope to see you coming soon for a beautiful presentation for art, music, and dance. The Sharma family and guest Sangeeta, wonderful Sangeeta coming as well. And then your inauguration coming up. So, I'm not a proper Vaishnava, so my offenses, I don't even ask for forgiveness because they are unforgivable. But thank you for tolerating me. And please let me know how I can serve all of you. Jai Srila Govinda Maharaj. Before we wrap this, did anybody want to say a last word? We skip anybody? We are good to go? Then, so just let's sing a quick Hari Haraya. Yes? Jai Gurudeva, we're going to see everybody at 6 p.m. in the Pandal. Jai. Can you pass the microphone?
Mela ki jai. Mela. Mela.
Oh, yeah.
You want the stand?
Yeah.
Prabhu, no. There's another one. How about Bhima Krishna Prabhu? Yes. You want to hold the mic? You okay with holding the mic, Prabhu? Sure. Okay. You don't need to play cartels? I'll have these today because... Okay.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Oh Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Oh Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath. Oh Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Nishoy Goshai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha hoite bigna na sabista puran. Itoy goshai jara mui tarada. Tasavara pada renu mora panchagra. Choy goshai jabe braje koilabad. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash. Oh Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Yaman. Oh Sri Guru Vaishnava Pade Padma Koriyar. Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narottama Das. Oh Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriyar. Hari Nama Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga. Oh Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga. Oh Nitai 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 Gauranga. Oh Nitai 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 Gauranga. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hey Hare Rama
Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajak Acharya Ashto Tarashata Shishima Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Gurudev Pushpa Samadhi ki jai. Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Maharaj Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Shri Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Maharaj ki jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Math Seva Ashram ki jai. Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai.
Bande Hang Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitang Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Nitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananyana Salakaya Chakshurul Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Panchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo 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 Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratihe Namaha Jayasya Parikarase Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govind Sundrapad Padmanang Jayastu Bande Hang Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalang Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitang Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna